always had a certain amount of distrust of gnomes. I mean, they're always covering their eyes, which is kind of creepy. What are they hiding there? And why are they always so happy? Well, this year I finally saw through to their cuteness. And oops, wrong picture. There we go. And I have decided to join in on the Blame It on the Gnome DIY challenge that's being hosted by my friends Connie and Robin. Links for their channels and this playlist are in the descriptions below. Welcome to my channel. My name is Leah and this is Junkernecker DIY, where I share new budget decor videos every week. Here you'll see things like Pinterest projects, thrift flips, Dollar Tree DIYs, trash to treasure crafting, and the occasional shopping haul. If those things interest you, please subscribe. My first gnome is a trash to treasure project. I'm going to be using this wine bottle, and the first thing I'm going to do is paint the top of it. I'm just using ballet slipper Waverly chalk paint, one coat of that, and going all the way down to the label. There's no need to remove the labels because they're not going to show. That's just an extra step that I could do without. Once that dried, I'm going to be wrapping it with this lacy doily, the red color. And I'm just gluing it down, wrapping it, gluing it on the other side. And it's not going to fit tightly. It's going to be a little crumply, but that's what I was going for. And you'll see the reason why I painted that base color is because I didn't want a clear bottle showing through. You could have done white. I could have done white, but I chose to do ballet slipper. So it's looking like that. Now I'm going to make sure that I've got that seam in the back. And I'm going to come in with this candy cane stripe paper. Not much of it's going to show, so it'll be okay to use this for Valentine's Day as well. I'm going to wrap it around. I didn't have enough to cover the whole thing, but I'm going to make it work. Tacking down those edges right up under that lace doily. And then snipping around the bottom so I can fold those edges under and glue them down. Just like that. Now for his beard, I'm going to use a scrap piece of this microfiber car wash cloth from Dollar Tree. I had a little bit of a triangle left, so I'm just going to make that his triangle beard. And I'm going to make sure that I've got it up under that lace that's his hat. And go all the way around, tucking it under, pulling that lace back down. And just gluing all the way around like that. And then this is how he looks. He's got a little upturn on the bottom of his beard. I think that's adorable. I need to make sure I don't have any of that glass bottle showing, so I tuck those edges good. Now I'm going to make a messy pom-pom for the top of his hat. Nothing wasted here. I'm going to use that last piece of microfiber cloth and I'm just rolling it up like so, and then I'm going to be tying a piece of red and white twine around all of that. I tie that off in a little bow, double knotted. And then I'm just taking my scissors and clipping all those ends. And you'll see a pom-pom starting to form there. Once I had both sides done, I just fluffed it up. Easy peasy. And glued it right on the top of that wine bottle. Pop. Only thing left to do is to give this guy a nose. And I'm going to use a natural colored wood bead. It seemed to be a good size for that. Dot of hot glue, stick it on, and call this guy done. there is a Trash to Treasure wine bottle gnome. Cute, cute, cute for Christmas or Valentine's. DIY number 2 and 3 are Dollar Tree DIYs. I'm going to be using these traffic cones from Dollar Tree for the base of these gnomes, and I'll be making a matching pair, a boy and a girl. And I'm going to be covering them with some red paisley fabric that you might have seen in one of my Christmas videos. I'm just going to measure out how much I need to roll it all the way around. First, I need to get rid of that thing on the bottom, that lip or whatever you want to call it. It cuts fairly easily with scissors. Once I had that done, I laid it down and rolled it up to see about how much I needed. And I want to have a little bit of an overhang at the top so I can have a little bit of a droop at the top of his hat. And so, took my rotary cutter, once I had enough rolled around, and I cut out down the side and across the bottom. And then I'm ready to start rolling them onto the fabric. I just tacked down one side and then started running hot glue in the direction that the cone was rolling and just stuck him down. Once I got to this point, I ran a line all the way down, rolled it onto that, and then I cut away the excess using that rotary cutter again. And then I took my scissors and cut away the excess at the bottom, and then started making those little slits so I can turn those ends over like I did with the wine bottle. These are going to just tuck all the way up under there. Run some glue and stick it down. Now he's looking like that. You'll see I've got that little bit of overhang that I wanted. And there he is. Now I'm going to repeat this for the girl gnome, and then we'll start embellishing. So I have some more scraps of microfiber cloth. It just keeps on giving. And I'm going to be making a beard for this guy with the cloth, but I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm measuring where I want it to hang down, cutting that straight across at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is fold at that straight line and then cut out a heart shape. Just like so. And that little notch in the front will be where his nose goes. Cute, cute, cute. Lay it down, making sure I've got the seam in the back. And it's going to look something like that. Adorable. What I'm going to do to glue it down is just going to kind of lay it over from the center, like so. Put down a line of hot glue. Turn it over. And then start tacking around those edges. And you want to put the hot glue on the cloth and not the microfiber hickey-dooger, because it'll make a horrible mess. And if you don't have any of the fabric like this, you could use a Dollar Tree red dish towel. That'd be just fine. I'm using white noses on these guys, and a little bit smaller wood bead. And stick it down right there in that little groove. And now he needs a band around the bottom of the hat. And I wish I'd used a more narrow ribbon on this, and you'll see in just a minute why. I think this ribbon was 1.5 inches wide. I should have went with the 1 inch, because once I got it glued down, I'm gluing it right above that beard and nose. Kept wanting to roll around on me. Slide that down there. And then bring it around and glue those ends down in the back. Like that. If you're keeping up with my burn count, I'm up to about 4 now. But see, he looks kind of like Willie Nelson. I think it's because the band is too wide, so I tried scrunching it down, but it was already glued tight, so I'm just going to have to live with that, and I'm going to name him Willie, and his girlfriend is going to be Wilma. So now I'm going to make another one of those microfiber rolled up pom-pom things that I made up. I'm not going to put a bow on this one. I'm just going to tie a double knot. Cut off the excess of the twine and start snipping those ends. Snipping them into little strips. Cutting off some excess here and there to make the pom-pom more even. Flip to the other side. Clip, clip, like that. Fluff out that excess, and I'm going to turn that point over and glue that down on the side with the pom-pom right at the end. And even if he does look like Willie Nelson, he's still adorable. So cute, so cute. Now for the girly. I'm going to use a piece of that leftover doily, which the doilies came from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to cut out a little apron for her. Like so. I'm going to glue that down. I want to put the glue on the areas where it's not open, so you don't have a lot of hot glue gushing through and looking all messy. And then I'm going to get some narrow ribbon and put around the top of her apron. This is actually Christmas ribbon that has gold snowflakes on it, but it's only on one side, so I'm going to have it with the red side showing, upside down if you will. I glued that right on top of her apron. And then I'm just going to pull those ends around and tie it in a bow. Trying to make sure that I've got mostly red showing, very minimal snowflake. And I'm going to glue those ends down to make sure they don't flip over. And there we go. Cute. Now I'm going to make her some pigtail braids. I cut the edges off the microfiber cloth so it wouldn't ravel so bad. And I cut 3 pieces. And I do this twice. I actually made 2 ponytail pigtails the same way. Tied a little bow with twine at the end there. So tedious. This is why I don't do the minis challenge, because I'm not good with small things. Tighten that up, trim off the excess hanging there. Even out those pieces and then just start braiding. Braid, 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 all the way down. And the first one is done. I'm going to clip those ends that are left over to be even. I'm not going to tie a string around them. I'm just going to glue them right down to where her hat band's going to be. So the hat band will cover those ends up. Yep. Need to go for another on the burn meter. Maybe up to about 7 by now. Now I'm going to repeat that and put a braid on the other side. Like that. Taking some more of that same narrow ribbon. I'm going to go around like a hat band making sure I cover up those ends of the braids like that. And then I'm just going to pull those ends around and kind of make it run into the apron strings in the back. It's going to look like it's part of her apron, maybe. See, it works out to be pretty neat. And there are my little guys. I missed putting on that I added a button to the girl. And I did the same thing with the pom-pom with the microfiber cloth. And I think they turned out so stinking adorable. We've got Wilma, Willie, and Otis. If you know what I'm referencing Otis to, comment below. Remember to check out the playlist for the Blame It on the Gnome challenge. And check out Connie's Creative Creations and Robin's Buys and DIYs. Links for all those are in the descriptions below. And before you leave, I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Until next time, bye-bye.